If you've been living on earth for the last 5 years, then you've definitely heard about self-care. Everybody's talking about it. It is everywhere. Everybody has their own idea of self-care, their own practice of self-care. If you're a therapist, you've definitely used the word with your clients or with your fellow therapists, talking about your self-care practice and what you do on a daily basis to make sure that you don't burn out and everything. In this video, we are going to be simplifying self-care. We're going to be going back to the basics. We are going to be talking about what self-care is at its simplest and most basic form, why self-care matters, and thirdly, 3 simple yet rebellious things you can start doing today so that you can get back on track with your self-care. Just before we get into it, pause this video, go to the comment section and tell me what you do for self-care. I just want to see where we are before we get into it. So yeah, I'm waiting for you to pause the video. Yeah. Good. Welcome back. So, with self-care, I'm going to start by a very simple definition, which is self-care is prioritizing your well-being. It doesn't get any more basic than that, and everything else you're listening to is just overcomplicating things. So there are different dimensions of self-care. There's physical, there's emotional, psychological, social, spiritual, all these things. But they all come down to one thing: prioritizing your well-being. Secondly, why self-care matters. So we all know that without self-care, you are going to burn out. If you burn out, you cannot serve your clients. And if you can't serve your clients, then you can't do the job that you actually went to school to do. There are very many things that come in the way of therapists taking care of themselves. So self-care for therapists, it is hindered by many things. We know that you are constantly exposed to pain and suffering from your clients. Especially, for example, if you are a trauma therapist, you're constantly hearing stories of trauma. And that can lead to what you've often talked about in this channel: compassion fatigue, vicarious trauma. All these things can wear you down. And so, as a therapist, the constant exposure to pain can make self-care seem pointless. Also, with the kind of work that we do as therapists, it can feel like there's no time to do self-care because you're thinking you have all these clients you have to see. For example, if you work in a very busy organization, let's say you work at a hospital and you are a therapist there, you're going to find that there are so many things that are pulling you in different directions because of the expectations that are on you. Expectations from the organization you work with, expectations from your clients, expectations from your family. For example, if you're the breadwinner, if you're a caregiver, you're a parent, you have kids, your kids, yes, they know you're a therapist maybe, but they don't understand what it means to be a therapist, and so they're not going to not need you just because you have a demanding job. You get? So it's very easy to have so many things pulling us apart in different directions that we forget that self-care is supposed to be a thing that you do on a daily basis. The other thing is also the fact that we have seen very many organizations and even people in general who celebrate and reward overworking. If you are not overworking, you're seen as a person who is not pulling their weight. You hear people talk about how you have to hustle hard, you have to keep showing up, giving 110%, giving your all. And that can be misconstrued into assuming that overworking is a badge of honor. It can make you think that if you're not overworking, if you're not always working, if you're not always giving 110%, then you're not good enough. Even beyond that, it can make you think that if you're not overworking, then you don't deserve self-care. And so self-care is then seen as something that you only get if only you work hard enough. It is like a token you get because you've proven yourself to be worthy of self-care. Again, that is all, I don't want to say bullshit, but that is all nonsensical. So you have to understand that self-care is not an emergency response. Self-care is not an optional thing that you do. It is the thing that helps you do the things that you want to do. Without self-care, you're going to burn out. If you burn out, you're not going to be able to serve your clients. If you burn out, you're not going to be able to do the things that you love. If you're burnt out, you're not going to be able to attend to other aspects of your life that you would like to attend to, because you're putting self-care as the thing that you do once you burn out. So there's this idea where you find yourself giving your all, giving your 100%, and then you're thinking, after I have depleted myself, I can go and replenish my energy so that I can come back and give again 100%. Understand? So there's this thing of taking self-care as the thing where you go. Then after you've been depleted, you can go refuel, then come back and give what you have. We forget that self-care is the thing that helps you go. If you don't practice self-care on a daily basis, you are going to burn out. I can't overemphasize that. The mindset shift here is realizing that self-care is not an emergency response. Self-care is not the thing that you do after things have gone to the pits. Thirdly and finally, I will address the thing I said in the beginning, the 3 easy yet rebellious things that I think you can start doing today to help you with self-care, to get you back on track when it comes to self-care, and to make sure that you do not burn out. Number 1, have boundaries. I know it has been said, and it sounds very simple to have boundaries. But then, here's the thing that is rarely spoken about when it comes to boundaries. Enforce those boundaries. If you have boundaries, but you don't enforce them, people are never going to respect those boundaries. So, if you are in a place where you can enforce those boundaries, you can make sure that you hold people accountable to those boundaries. It's going to be very easy for you to advocate for yourself. You can only take your clients as far as you have gone. That is one thing that was told to me by my supervisor. You can only take your clients as far as you've gone. So if you think that you can help your clients develop better self-care routines and practices, yet you yourself do absolutely nothing to take care of yourself, they're going to see the joke around that, because they're going to be like, you yourself look extremely tired and fatigued. You look like somebody who has not slept for the last 72 hours. And you're telling me that I'm supposed to take sleep seriously. They're going to be like, what do you mean? It doesn't make sense if you yourself are not doing it. They'll be like, but the things you're telling me are things that you're not even doing yourself. And so they're going to start assuming that it is only something that you're saying as a formality. So, develop boundaries, advocate for yourself, do not take on clients when you cannot, do not offer to do things for people just so that you seem nice. These are things you've already told your client, by the way. I'm sure this is a conversation you've had with your client. And I want you to now start walking the talk. I want you to start doing the things you're telling your clients to do. Because if you don't, your client will see right through you. They'll be like, enjoy. We can talk about boundaries a lot more in many different ways. I have a lot of content around boundaries because I'm a big advocate for boundaries. So if that is something that you're curious about, how to develop boundaries, how to enforce them, get in touch. Let me know in the comment section and I can create a video. Number 2, something that I think is extremely important. Learn to regulate your nervous system. If you are anxious, you are all over the place with your emotions, you will be constantly stressed and burnt out. You'll always be jumpy and all over the place. And it's not just that, it keeps your mind in a stress loop. I want you to go and read further about regulating your nervous system and learning the simple practices you can do on a daily basis to regulate your nervous system. And regulating your nervous system is a whole topic that has so many different aspects that we can explore. If you don't learn to regulate your nervous system, if you don't learn to soothe yourself, you will always be feeling stressed and anxious. You learning to regulate your nervous system is going to be an active form of self-care. Read more on nervous system regulation, and it's something that you can even practice with your family members. You can teach your kids about nervous system regulation. And yeah, tell me what you think in the comment section, if this is something that you've done or if this is something that you want me to speak more about, and I can create a whole video again on that. Last but definitely not least, which is number 3, sleep. I cannot say enough when it comes to sleep. There's a reason why you spend a third of your entire life asleep. There's a reason. If you do not sleep, everything else will start to fall apart. I know it might sound like I am being an alarmist. I am not. This is just facts. This is pure facts. If you do not sleep, every other thing in your entire life, every other thing will fall apart. It's only a matter of time. And I know there are people out there who are going to say, oh, me, I can survive on 2 hours of sleep and I will be fine. Others will be like, oh, me, I can survive on 4. Hata wengine wako like, me, I can go for 72 hours without sleeping. I don't want to sit here and say that your reality is wrong and that you sleeping for 2 hours and surviving is a lie. I'm not going to say all those things. What I'm going to say is that there's a lot of research around sleep, and it has been shown that people need about 7 to 8 hours of sleep every single night, and you cannot postpone useme ati this week I'm gonna sleep kidogo and then I'm gonna compensate for my lack of sleep during the week at the end of the week at weekend, because I'm not going to work, I'm going to sleep the entire day and I'll be compensating for my lack of sleep during the week. It does not work like that. That is not how sleep works. Your body does not know that thing for compensating at a later stage. So sleep. Take naps when you need to take naps. And I know sometimes you don't have the time because you have a lot of work, but I am telling you, you will not even have the energy and the ability to do that work if you do not sleep. At some point, your body is going to fall apart and it is going to rebel and it is going to be like, you know what, I'm not going to support this nonsense. I need to rest. Your body does not care about all the things that are on your to-do list. Your body does not care about all the people you need to please. Your body does not care that you're a parent and that you need to take care of the family, or that you're a therapist and you have 55 clients, or that you have a boss who is demanding, your body does not care. Your body just knows when it is time to go to sleep, it is time to go to sleep. And if I were you, I would take the time to sleep well, especially in the evenings. I know maybe it's on naps, Zamchana, it's difficult to get a nap in between your day because maybe you work in a very busy environment. But in the evenings, just go to sleep, manze. Those hours you're spending on social media, just tell yourself, I'm gonna cut them by half and I'm gonna spend that extra time just sleeping, if that is what you need. Go to bed. That is all I'm gonna say. Like, akuna more than that. Nothing can be said beyond that. Go to sleep. Get your 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Do whatever it takes to get it. Fight for it. That's why I said it's an act of rebellion. You will have to constantly fight things to get you hours of sleep. Because right now, in the world we live in, there are so many things you could be doing. There are so many things that you could be doing right now instead of sleeping. And those things would always show up. So you have to fight for your sleep. You have to be like, no, I'm gonna ignore X, Y, and Z and just go to bed. As I said, if you do not sleep, every other thing in your entire life will fall apart. It is only a matter of time. Your story, Memaliza. Self-care does not get more basic than that. If you do these 3 things constantly on a daily basis for your life, you're going to start seeing changes. You're going to start seeing things falling in place. Sleep, advocate for yourself, regulate your nervous system. Those are the 3 most basic things you can do for self-care on a daily basis. Do not postpone, do them every single day. There's a video that I am attaching in the description box about the myths about self-care. I think that is a video that you want to listen to. So if you've watched this far, remember to subscribe to the channel, share the channel with a friend, share this video with one person. By the way, this is just my call to action. Share this particular video with just one person. One therapist you know, one person in your class if you're a student in psychology, one colleague if you work at an organization in Psychologist. Just share this video with one person. If you have not yet joined our Telegram channel, I will highly recommend that you do. We post job alerts there, scholarship opportunities, discussions about mental health. You can get to connect with other counselors. So yeah, join our Telegram channel. With that, I will see you in the next video. Have a good one, take care of yourselves, and make sure to sleep.